Hi, I'm Eric. I'm going to be taking you through a yoga series today. We're not going to stick to any specific series, any specific dogma, any specific style of yoga today. We're going to just go through, hopefully, a well-rounded, simple, yet challenging yoga asana practice. So if you need to change anything or if you need to take a break, feel free to do that. Let's have a go. We're going to start out with a sun salutation series. Now there's many different versions of this. So if there's one that you prefer to mine, do that. We're just going to use it as a warm-up. Otherwise, just follow along. We're going to inhale. Take a big breath as you reach your arms to the ceiling. Exhale, hanging over. Hands to the floor if you can. If it's a bit much, feel free to place your hands on your ankles or your shins. From there, you're going to lift your head and chest. Big inhale. And on your exhale, you're going to take a nice big step or a jump back into a plank position. From there, we're going to lower ourselves to the floor nice and easy. Keep the belly hovering off the floor if you can. Inhale to push forward into a nice big up dog arch. And exhale to press back into a down dog, making any little adjustments in the middle of it that you need. We're going to stay here as we breathe, always inhaling and exhaling through the nose. We're going to do 5 full deep breaths here. Keep pushing that weight back into the heels. One more breath here. On your exhale, you're going to come up onto your toes, bend the knees, and then step forward, feet together. Lengthen those legs, hands up to the shins if you need to. Big inhale. And exhale, drop the head and the spine into the floor a little bit deeper. Inhale to come all the way back up to standing. We're going to reach our arms up to the ceiling and lower them on the exhale. We're going to do 2 more just like that. Arms on the inhale. Exhale, full forward fold. Dropping the head, dropping the spine right down into the floor. Inhale to look forward. On your exhale, take a big step, or this time for me, jump back into a plank. Lowering yourself into that low plank. If you need to place your belly on the floor for strength, that's fine. Point the toes, inhale, come on up into an up dog, look for the ceiling. On your exhale, you're going to press back into your down dog, making any little alignment adjustments you need to. Now I'm really pressing my hips back, trying to reach the tailbone up to the ceiling. Nice deep inhale and exhale through the nose. Two more breaths. Be careful you're not letting the elbows kick out too much. You want to rotate them inward and press back so you have a nice wide upper back. Last exhale. Come up onto the toes, step forward, or you can hop forward. Lengthen the back on the inhale, and exhale to fall deeper into the floor. Inhale, reaching up to the ceiling, and exhale to lower the arms. You got one more in you? Here we go. Arms up, inhale. Little upper back bend if you want. And exhale to hang all the way over to the floor. Continue the breath. Inhale, looking forward, continuing the movement. Exhale. Jumping or stepping back into your plank. Lower yourself down to a low plank. Inhale, push forward into an up dog. And exhale, push back into a down dog. Again, adjusting your feet as you wish. Keep the breath rolling. Keep pushing the hips back and up to the ceiling. I'm really trying to push my heels to the floor. I'm allowing my insteps to touch the floor if I can. Really opening up the back of the calf. 2 more breaths. And on your next exhale, you'll step forward or hop forward. Coming up onto the toes, bend those knees. Nice soft jump or a step. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, hang to the floor even deeper. Let the head go. Inhale to reach up to the ceiling. And lowering the arms. So hopefully your body's a little bit more awake now. We're going to go into a simple forward fold. So from here, you want to place your feet roughly hip width apart. When we say hip width, we mean the center of that hip joint, not the full width of the hip, yeah? From there, hands on the hips, you're going to lift the chest, pulling the sternum up. Inhale. Exhale to fold at the hips. You want to crease at the hips first. Then at the very end, you'll let your back round. Drop the hands to the floor. Again, if you need to, place the hands on the shins or the ankles, or grab the big toes. From there, you're going to let your head hang. I'll just show you quickly from the side. Continue your breath. You want to just be careful in your forward fold that you're not leaning back into the backs of those feet too much, yeah? You want to get your weight right up and over so the weight is a little bit more equal through the entire foot. Staying here, you're going to drop into it. Give yourself a couple more breaths here. One last breath. Bringing the hands back up into the hips. You're going to lengthen the spine, pull down through the hamstrings to lift your torso back up to standing. And from here, we're going to take a nice big step back out on the right foot. You're going to face the side, so we've got a nice wide stance. From here, we're going to open that right leg up. You want to keep that left leg parallel or perpendicular to the mat. Right leg is opened up. So from here, you have 2 options. You can place the right heel in line with the left instep. It's a little bit more difficult for balance that way. Or keep the right heel on the same line as the left heel. It's a little bit more solid position. So if you're just starting out, that might be something you want to do. Arms are nice and wide out to the side. You're going to kick those hips right out to the left. Big inhale. And exhale as you descend, placing the right hand just below the knee on the shin to start. If you're a bit tight, you're going to just stay here and continue the breath. Letting the body fall a little bit deeper to the floor with each exhale. If you're a bit more supple, you can drop down all the way to the ankle, to the big toe, or you can place your hand on the floor. All different options that you can take. You're going to stay here. You're going to continue to draw that right leg up, out the diagonal to the ceiling. You want to be careful as you're trying to straighten it, that you're not pressing into the back of the knee, but really lifting that right hip up to the ceiling. On one big long inhale, you're going to bring yourself all the way back up to standing. Rotate the right leg in, rotate the left leg out. We're going to kick that right hip out this time, and we're going to do the same thing on the left. Taking that left hand down, you can either start just below the knee if you're tight, go all the way to the ankle if you're supple, or come all the way down to the floor if you want a really nice deep stretch. Continue the breath here. We're going to talk about this top arm for a moment. This top arm, you always want to keep that in line with the shoulder. or slightly in front. Be careful you're not opening that shoulder beyond its capacity in order to try to turn the body, yeah? Let the body turn on its own and let the arm and the shoulder be slightly secondary, yeah? Continue the breath. Exhale deeper into the floor with each exhale. Keep drawing that left hip up and out to the ceiling to elongate the hamstring without pressure in the knee. And on your inhale, you're going to come all the way back up. And we're going to switch to the first side again. A little bit more work on this second variation. So from here, we're going to bend that right knee. Now, if you look at my right leg, I'm going to always try to keep my right knee over top of my ankle. If it drifts a little bit in front or a little bit behind, it's not a big deal, yeah? From here, arms out to the side, we're going to keep that bend in that right leg. We're going to drop that right arm to the inside of the right leg. Left arm goes back up to the ceiling, just like in the last pose. And I'm going to use that right arm to press against my right leg. I'm going to use my leg to press against my arm. Keep the breath going. Again, think about that top arm, keeping it in line or slightly in front of the shoulder. Continuing the breath in and out through the nose. Nice, even, cyclical breaths. If you need to come out of this early, if it's a bit too much on that right quad, you can lengthen that leg just a little bit and then come back down into it. Or you can take a little bit of the weight with that right arm. Keeping those legs where they are, we're going to bring the body back up into place. Then straighten that right leg, and we're going to swap sides. Right leg turns in, left leg turns out. Same thing on this second side. We're going to bend that left knee. Bring that left arm just to the inside of that left leg. Right arm up to the ceiling. And again, I'm pressing with this arm. I'm resisting with the leg. And I'm keeping my top arm just slightly in front of my shoulder. Again, big, long breaths through the nose. And if you need to, come out of it a little bit, go back into it, or take a little bit of that weight with that left arm. Keeping those legs in place. You're going to bring the body back up into place. Lengthen that leg. You're going to take one giant step to finish at the front of your mat. How are we feeling? You all right? Take a moment, catch your breath if you need to. From there, we're going to open into a nice wide stance, yeah? Not as wide as you need to be or wide as you can be, but something that's just a little bit wider than maybe your comfort zone. You may get cramps in the hips. That's normal. From there, we're going to rotate those feet inward, heels outward. So you've got a good inward rotation from the hip, yeah? Going back into a forward fold. So hands on the hips. You're going to lift the chest on the inhale. On the exhale again, you're going to crease at the hips. You want to maintain that long back for as long as you can. At the last moment, you're going to go ahead and let the head drop and the back round. Placing the hands on the floor in between the feet, yeah? And just let the head hang toward the floor. Now, you're fine if you're here, yeah? You want to keep lifting the tailbone up to the ceiling, stretching the backs of the hamstrings. If you are more supple, go ahead and think about really releasing downward and placing the top of the head on the floor. If that floor is a mile away, then don't worry about it. Just take the weight in your hands and continue to lift the tailbone. From there, if you want to, you're going to change the direction of your hands. So you've got the hands pointing through the legs and reach the arms back between the legs. Now, this can happen whether you've got your head on the floor or not. You're going to use those arms to draw your body that little bit deeper into the stretch. And keep reaching that tailbone up to the ceiling. Again, always breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Now, without changing our bodies, keep the head on the floor if it's there. Yeah? If you're a mile away or you feel like you're a mile away from the floor, just keep that forward hanging happening. From there, grab your balance and take the hands off the floor. Yeah? You can either stay here if balance is tricky, or if you feel nice and secure, we're going to interlock those fingers behind our back. We're going to elongate through the elbows. And we're going to reach those arms as far over toward the floor as you can. Now, the important part is lengthening through the elbows. If you've got those elbows bent and you're trying to push, it's not worth the effort, yeah? Keep those arms a little bit closer to the ceiling and work on straightening the elbows. If you've got your elbows straight, go ahead and really start to lengthen them through to the floor and getting that nice deep shoulder stretch. From there, we're going to bring our hands back down to our tailbones. Maybe shift the hands to the hips if you wish. Lengthen the spine. Draw the backs of the legs toward the floor to help draw you back up to a standing position. Nice and gentle. You're going to turn those legs out, bend the knees, and take a step back to the side of your mat. Yeah, everybody okay? Let's shake those legs out. They can be an intense stretch. So from here, we're going to do a little balance work, yeah? If it's easier for you to balance not on the mat, if you're on a mat, if your mat is kind of thick, it's much more difficult to balance. So you can take a step off the mat onto a hardwood floor or a solid surface, yeah? From there, we're going to take our hands to our hips. We're going to take that right hand and we're going to grab the big toe of the right foot, yeah? You're going to press that left leg down through the floor, keeping the body in that left leg nice and straight. And you want to now check this right leg. Are we dropping that leg open? No, we want to keep it nice and parallel. So press that inner thigh against the elbow. You're going to push that foot out to the side, and you want to keep it flat, as if it's still standing on the floor. Yeah? You're going to maintain this position. If this is difficult for balance or for flexibility, just stay here, yeah? If you're having a fairly easy time with this one, do not change the standing leg, but start to straighten the working leg. So my working leg is lengthening, but I'm not bending my standing leg, yeah? So I'm still pressing down through the standing side as I lengthen that working leg. Couple breaths there. We're going to then bend that knee back in, place the foot on the floor, and change sides. So again, many different variations you can do. Don't go further than you feel like you can today. Same thing, I'm going to press my standing leg into the floor. I'm going to press the inner thigh of my working leg into my elbow. So I've got a nice parallel line with that. Pardon me, a nice flat foot. And we're going to continue the breath. You're just going to stay here for about 5 slow breaths. Again, always in and out through the nose. If you want a little bit of a challenge without bending the standing leg, you can start to lengthen that working leg forward. Keep a slight bend if it's too difficult. If it's not, Extend it even further. Don't extend it to the point where you have to collapse, yeah? I'd rather have you keep a little bend in this leg and a straight leg here. 2 more breaths. And we're going to bend that knee and place the foot down. How we doing? Yeah? Work those legs out. Now we're just going to do a pose similar, but it's more of a counter pose. So we're going to do the same idea, but to the back. From here, you're going to take that right arm and you're going to open it out to the side. What that does is it opens the shoulder nicely, yeah? Rather than locking that shoulder off. You want to have a little bit of movement in that shoulder. Opening that right arm. If you need to use a wall for balance, use a wall for balance, or a chair, something. From there, you're going to take that right foot and grab the inner side of the foot, yeah? Now, if this is too difficult, you can absolutely start on the outside of the foot. It's not a problem, yeah? You can also grab from the outside of the foot and then work your way to the inside. Now, the same idea as the last pose we just did. You're going to keep that standing leg nice and straight. If you can, take that left arm up beside your left ear. You can stay close to a wall for balance if you need it. And you're going to squeeze those inner thighs together so you can feel the muscles of the inner thighs working as one. Now, without changing that sensation of squeezing those inner thighs together, you want to keep those muscles working as you just start to kick that right leg back, yeah? And all I'm doing is I'm kicking that right leg back. I'm letting that circle behind my back expand. I'm still lifting my left side up. Nice big breath. And relax. We're going to turn around. We'll do the second side. Again, if you need to start with your hand on the wall for balance, you do that. We're going to open the left hand out to the back. You're going to grab, if you need to, the outside of the foot, and then work it to the inside. If you can go directly to the inside, go directly to the inside. From there, I'm squeezing my inner thighs together so I can feel them engage, yeah? I'm not just using my quads to take control of this. I'm going to take my right arm up to the ceiling. I'm going to keep my right leg nice and straight. And from there, I'm going to kick that left leg back. I'm expanding that circle behind me. I'm lifting the front of my body. Keep the breath going. If you fall out of it, don't worry. Take a moment, recover, try again. And we're going to come back and relax. Now you'll see a lot of people, maybe online or in class, take that position much further. You can do that, but you don't want to sacrifice the control of your torso in order to do that. For example, when I grab my instep, I lift through my body. Now I'm not going to throw my body forward in order to pitch that position forward. Yeah? Then I'm just diving toward the floor. And if I'm diving toward the floor, that's where I'm going to end up. So if you want to take this position deeper, if you've got the balance and the mobility, you still want to lift the body. I'm lifting the left side of my body. I'm kicking that right side back. Now my tilt, if I want to tilt this position, is always in response to the movement of my leg. Yeah? Again, I don't dive my body to get up my leg. I lift my leg to move my body. Yeah? I'm still lifting the left side of my torso. Even if I kick that right leg up, I lift the torso. Yeah? I might take it too far. You might take it too far. And come on out of it. So the important thing is you still have that sense of stretching or pulling in opposite directions. You're not just diving into one thing or another. Right. Everyone all right? We're going to take another small sun salutation variation, but we're going to take our time in each position. So we're going to start again on the inhale. Arms are going to come up. On the exhale, you're going to hang forward. Again, hands where you need them. Shins, ankles, or on the floor if you've got the mobility. And you're just going to hang toward the floor. I want you to stay here and I want you to continue your breath, shifting the weight into the fronts of the feet a little bit, taking a little bit of weight with your hands. If it's too much for you, you can have an inhale and slightly bend the knees to relax. And on the exhale, lift the legs into a straighter position. Bending the knees. And exhale to lengthen the legs, drop the upper back. From there, we're going to place our hands on the floor, fingertips or palms, whatever you need. Legs are straight or bent, again, whatever you need. We're going to look forward on the inhale. On the exhale, we're going to take a big step or a jump back into your plank pose. Trying to keep the elbows tight to the body, but if strength-wise you need them a little bit open, that's fine. You're going to lower your body down to the floor, either hovering above the floor or place your body on the floor. Yeah. Inhale into your up dog position. Changing the feet. Exhale, pushing into your down dog. And we're just going to simply walk this down dog out. From there, just come to your knees. We're going to open those knees nice and wide, feet nice and close, and you're going to push back into a simple child's pose. Relaxing the head on the floor. It's your choice if it's a bit difficult on the shoulder. If you have shoulder issues, bring the arms back. If the shoulders are okay, you're just going to leave them out. And we'll relax here for a few breaths. Come on out of that, nice and simply. Come to a sitting position. Reach those legs out in front of you. And find a nice position that's fairly comfortable. Now, if you need it, feel free to use a cushion. Any pillow will do. You don't need a specific yoga cushion. But if you're relatively tight in the legs, if you find yourself rounded in the back as you're trying to sit here, then you might want a cushion, yeah? You might want something high or something just a little bit lower. Anything that you can sit on that's just going to get you up a little bit taller, get you to be able to sit high in this position. From there, we're going to place our hands on the floor just next to our hips. I'll show you without the cushion. You may not be able to completely reach the floor if you're on a cushion. Keeping the body nice and straight. You're going to keep the spine lifted. You're going to keep the chin lifted. And I'm going to pull my chin to my chest. That's going to restrict my breath in my throat. You can probably hear it in my voice now. And we're going to try a little bit of breathing. We're going to try to make a sound like Darth Vader, like, oh, you've all seen the movie. So if you can imagine you're trying to clean your glasses, and you take your glasses and you breathe on them, right? And you go, oh, before you wipe them off. It's the same idea to start, but you want to do it with your lips closed. So if you start with your mouth open, breathing on the glasses, and then close your lips at the same time. For example, you have a nice hollow space within your mouth. That's how we're going to try to breathe. If it's too much and you want to just breathe normally, that's fine. So again, I'm lifting my spine, I'm lifting my chest, I'm going to draw my chin to my chest. That restricts my breath and makes my voice sound funny. And then I'm going to do my 5 nice, slow Darth Vader breaths. And we can all relax, take a break. From here, we're going to keep our body the same. You can either keep your legs together, or you can slightly separate them. From there, we're going to do a sitting forwards fold. So keeping the body nice and long. Again, if you need to, stay on your cushion. Arms are going to come up to the ceiling on the inhale. Exhale, you're going to lean forward, grabbing the shins, the ankles, the toes if you prefer, or if you're flexible, you can go all the way over and grab the soles of the feet. Yeah. You're gonna lift the spine on the inhale, regardless of where you are. And on your exhale, you're just gonna drop a little bit deeper into that position. At the very last moment, let the head go. This should be a nice, good stretch, probably mostly in the backs of the legs, potentially in the lower back. We're going to lift the head first, the spine second, bring the arms up to the ceiling again. On the exhale, we're going to bring those hands back down to the floor, but this time you want the fingertips to be pointing forward, and you want to place them a little bit further behind you. Again, you can either keep the legs separate or together. You're going to lengthen through the feet, and on your inhale, you're going to press those hips up to the ceiling and press the toes to the floor. I'm pushing my chest up and out. If it's not too much on the neck, you're going to let the head hang back. If it's too much, you can keep your chin tucked for support. It's going to be a lot of work, so if you need to come out of it early, feel free. And on your exhale, we're going to place the bum back down and just take a break. Maybe a lot of stretch through the bicep, maybe a lot of work in the shoulders. We're all different. We're all going to feel it in a slightly different place. So I'm just going to turn on a slight angle for you for these next couple so that you can maybe see it a little bit clearer. Very simply, we're going to place that right foot on the inner thigh of the left leg. It's like a sprinter stretch if you've done those, yeah? From there, very simply, you're going to lift the body up, scoop out the abdominal wall so you've got some space there. You're going to hang over and you're going to grab that left leg. Again, depending on your mobility, you can either take the shin, you can take the ankle, you can grab the foot. If you're very supple, you're going to grab hold of the left wrist with your right hand, reach both arms out past the foot, and that'll give you a nice big stretch. From there, same thing, you're going to lift the back, and on the last moment, you're going to hang over and let the head go. We're going to give ourselves 5 breaths here. And then we're going to change that position to the second side. So we're going to straighten that right leg, and we're going to place the left foot on the inner thigh of the right leg. Now, your sides are never going to feel the same. You may have noticed in watching this video that my sides are completely different. That's normal. Don't worry about it. There's one side that's going to be tighter, probably stronger, and the other side that's going to be more supple, but a bit weaker. Yeah, that's very normal. So same thing, left foot, inner thigh of the right leg. You're going to lift the body up. You're going to scoop out the abdominals so you've got a bit more clearance in through the obliques. Grabbing that right wrist with the left hand if you're supple. Otherwise, take your hand to your shin or your ankle. On the exhale, reach those arms as far forward as you can, regardless of where you place them. See, a little bit tight today. Lift the head and chest, and then on your exhale, drop a little bit deeper into the floor. We're going to stay here. We're going to do our 5 nice deep breaths, always through the nose. And from there, we're going to lift the head and chest, bring the arms back up to the ceiling, and relax. Switching sides again. This time when you bend the right leg, you're going to keep the foot solid on the floor. Right leg is straight up and down, perpendicular to the floor. Left leg is straight out in front of you. Nice and simple, you're going to take that left arm, turn, and hug that right leg. We're just turning the upper body, we're turning the head at the last moment. Now remember, all your rotation happens in the middle and upper spine, not in the lower back, so don't try to wrench that lower back. That's just going to cause yourself to hurt yourself. If you're a little bit more supple, you can take that left arm across, or you can even come down and grab the ankle. Otherwise, you're just going to keep that hug. And we're going to swap sides. Same thing to the left. Bending that left leg in, keeping it straight up and down. Don't let it drop open if you can help it. Again, we're all different, so if your hips won't allow, that's fine. Rotating the mid and upper back, hugging that left leg with the right arm. Now the hand that's behind, the left hand, you want to keep that fairly close to you so you can keep your spine upright. You want to be careful not to have it way back so you're leaning out of that position. Keeping that right leg active, turning the head at the last minute, nice big stretch and twist in the upper back. Keep the breath going in and out through the nose. And relax out of it. Not too bad, I hope. From there, we're going to do a little bit of a boat pose. Now I'm going to leave you to it. Your options, yeah? You can keep holding the backs of the legs the entire time if you want to, if this is difficult. But we're all going to start out by grabbing the backs of the legs, lifting the feet, and finding that balance point right on your tailbone. Now you've just created an angle. You've got your angle of your thigh to your body. You want to maintain that angle the whole time. So I don't care how flexible you are, you don't want to change that angle. We're going to start to extend those legs up to the ceiling, but if I'm opening to extend, I'm changing that angle. I don't want to do that. I just want to extend from the knee down. So we can try either extending one foot up, yeah, gives you a little bit of half balance. The other leg. We can do both together if you're nice and supple. Again, I'm not opening that position. I'm keeping that position nice and closed, yeah? If we really want, we can release the hands and extend those legs. Now give me 5 breaths here. See, I'm tired out now too. And we're just going to bend those legs in and take a break. From here, we're going to place the soles of our feet together, and you want to keep them fairly close to the body, yeah? Again, some of us will have hips that will allow it a bit better than others. You're going to bring those heels in, right next to the pubic bone, and we're going to keep our spine nice and straight. Again, feel free to use a cushion, yeah? I have nice and supple hips, yeah? So I can get those feet really close and all but get my knees down. But if it adds a little bit more to the pose, for me to sit taller, I can get those feet in a little bit further, yeah? Changes the posture. Sometimes I use a cushion, sometimes I don't. From here, you're going to keep your spine lifted. We're going to go back and we're going to do that Darth Vader breath again. So you're going to lift your chest nice and high. You're going to pull your chin to your chest. You can hear it restrict my breath and my voice. Pardon, I'll get rid of that cushion. So I've got my spine nice and tall. I've got my chin locked into my chest. I sound quite funny now, I'm sure. And I'm going to do my 5 Darth Vader breaths. From there, I'm going to open my eyes, I'm going to lift my chest. Big inhale, and on the exhale, I'm going to draw my body forward. Now I'm creasing from the hips, just like in all the other forward fold positions. I'm going to keep my spine as straight as I can for as long as I can, and then at the last minute, let everything fall. We're going to sit up again. From here, we're just going to move those feet slightly out in front of you. So I've just created a diamond with my legs, yeah? From there, we're going to take our hands, we're going to reach them under the ankles. Again, keeping that spine as straight as you can for as long as you can. You're going to then draw the forehead down toward the heels. And we're going to relax and come on out of it. right? From here, we're going to take those legs out to the sides, yeah? Don't worry about how wide or how narrow this position is for you. If you've got tight inner thighs, you're going to have a smaller V. If you've got supple inner thighs, you're going to have a wider V, yeah? If you have a cushion, use your cushion. Place it on the floor in front of you. Again, it doesn't matter if you've got a narrow V, as long as you're getting that stretch in your inner thighs. So you're going to come down, place the elbows on the cushion. That should be a decent stretch, whether it's in the inner thighs or the hamstrings, maybe a bit in the lower back. If it's not a decent stretch, we need to either get rid of the cushion so you can go deeper, or send those legs a little bit wider so that you're having a bit more intense stretch in the inner thighs. Yeah, it shouldn't hurt, but it shouldn't be a terribly comfortable position to be in, yeah? The biggest reason for the cushion is to just control the amount of weight that you're putting into the stretch. Yeah, I mean, I've got fairly supple hips and inner thighs, so we don't really need the cushion. If I'm here, I could just be sitting here watching TV, doing nothing, wrapping Christmas presents if I wanted to, but I'm not really getting something out of the stretch or out of the posture. So for me, I would get rid of that cushion, and even if I come here, it's not terribly intense, but now I can feel it's productive. I'm getting something out of it. So that's what you really want to look for. If you want a much more intense stretch, don't necessarily think about trying to get your body on the floor. Instead, think about moving the hips forward on the floor. So I'm going to lift my hips up and I'm going to use my arms to just shift my hips a little bit more forward. Now in doing that, I'm not trying to open my legs more. What I'm thinking about is trying to lengthen my legs. I'm trying to let them grow out to the side from the hip socket. If I'm just trying to wrench them open, then I'm going to block myself in this stretch. If I'm allowing them to grow out to the side, I'm going to have a lot more mobility to find movement and to find release within that posture, yeah? So finding your position, whether it's a 45-degree triangle or a full stretch, that's your position. Continue your breath. Couple more breaths here. From that position, you're going to come back up to sitting. Again, you may be here. Everything else is the same, regardless of where your legs are, yeah? So, taking that position that's yours, you're going to keep that length in the hips. Keep the hips growing out to the side. We're going to place our right hand on the floor in between. You're going to reach your left arm up to the ceiling. Lift the whole left side of the body. Reach all the way over to the right side. Now I'm not concerned about my right hip, or my left hip, pardon me, coming off the floor. Yeah, I'm not going to press it down and block the movement. This is really a stretch for one, the left side of the body, and two, the right leg. So you go to where you want to go with this. If you're just up, that's absolutely fine. Couple breaths here. And we're going to come back to center. And we're going to do the same thing on the left. Letting the legs grow out to the side. Staying released in that right hip, but don't be concerned if it comes off the floor slightly. Reaching over to the left. Again, you can just come up and reach to the ceiling if that's an intense stretch. You can come all the way over and grab the foot if that's an intense stretch, yeah? If your legs are narrow, you're still going toward that leg. Yeah, nothing's different. Couple more breaths. And we're going to come out of that. Hope everybody's doing all right. From there, Nice and simple, finding a fairly comfortable position on your back. Feels good to be on the floor now, doesn't it? From here, we're going to do a little bit of a bridge. So it's up to you. You're going to bring those feet nice and close to you. Yeah? If you can, you're going to grab the ankles with the hands and then place the feet down. But you should be able to lay flat. If you can't lay flat, then don't grab your ankles. Let the palms be on the floor, around the foot, close to the heel, yeah, or as close as you can if you can't get those feet all the way in. So from here, I'll go somewhere in the middle. From there, nice and simple. Your movement's going to be on your inhale. So when you inhale, you're going to press those hips up, close the shoulder blades behind you so you're on the shoulders as more of a support place. And I'm reaching my knees and my thighs out over my toes. So I've got this nice high bridge, but I'm lengthening through the front of the body. Again, 5 slow breaths here, in and out through the nose. And on your 5th exhale, come all the way down. Yeah? If you've got your hands on your ankles, it's all the same. Yeah? It's just a little bit bigger bridge or a little bit more intense bridge. Nothing else is different. Yeah? From there, placing the palms on the floor. Now, we're going to go into a shoulder stand. If you've never done a shoulder stand and you're a little bit nervous of it, then you're just going to relax in this position. You're just going to find a nice shavasana, a nice corpse pose. That doesn't sound right, nice corpse. But you're going to find a nice corpse pose and take a break here. If you have neck problems or neck concerns, maybe you don't want to do this. That's absolutely fine. Better to be safe than to injure yourself and be upset about it for the next few weeks, yeah? For those of you who have done this, you're going to place your hands on the floor if you want. Legs are going to go up to the ceiling. You're going to use the abdominals. So if you want to, don't even use your arms, yeah? If you need to, press with the arms. You can either press to push yourself over, or if you can, again, reach those arms above your head and think about drawing the shoulder blades down to scoop out the abdominal wall to get into that shoulder stand. From here, regardless of where your arms are, you're going to bring them up to your lower back. You want to keep those shoulders nice and tight. You want to keep those elbows fairly close. And you're going to grab those inner thighs and squeeze them together and press them right up to the ceiling. Staying nice and tall. Keep breathing. Staying as tall in this position as you absolutely can. This will, of course, restrict your breath again, just like the Darth Vader breaths. So hopefully by now you're a little bit used to it. You know what to expect. One more breath here. Stay nice and tall. And then from there, you're going to keep lengthening through the body as you reach those legs over your head. They're going to hopefully find the floor at the last moment. If they don't find the floor, it doesn't matter. If they're just hanging there, it's fine. Yeah? From there, you're going to interlock those fingers. You're going to press those arms toward the floor, adding a big shoulder stretch to this pose. A little bit more restricted breath on this one. 2 more breaths. We're going to release those arms. Reach up, grab the big toes. You're going to pull on those legs. increasing the stretch of those hamstrings. You're going to draw yourself down one vertebra at a time, nice and slow if you can. Keep reaching those feet to the floor. If you roll down quickly, it doesn't matter if you can't hold this position. Nice and easy. Roll all the way down until your tailbone or sacrum touches the floor. From there, you're going to bend the knees, and we're going to find what's called a happy baby pose. You can either keep the hands on the toes as such, or reach up and grab the outside of the foot for a slightly more intense pose. From here, I've got my knees in my armpits. I've got a fairly wide parallel stance with my legs, and I'm going to press my tailbone down to the floor and squeeze my thighs to the floor at the same time. So everything is nice and flat, trying to be squashed just like a pancake onto the floor. Keep the breath rolling. And we're going to release that pose. Nice and easy. You're going to place your feet on the floor. Readjust yourself. You're going to lengthen those legs out. Those legs or those feet will be just slightly wider than your mat. You're going to place your arms on the floor. Again, hands are just slightly wider than the mat. Palms up, feet falling out to the side. This is our shavasana, or our corpse pose. This is our ending pose. So do any kind of adjustments you need. Pull on your clothes, shake your muscles, whatever you need to do, do it now. Once you've gotten rid of that, you're just going to find this nice, still calmness within your shavasana. Now you're still doing your work. You're going to let your eyes close. You're going to let any extra energy within the muscles disperse down through the floor. You're going to let your muscles, your entire body, continue to get heavier and heavier. You're going to feel everything just melting away. You're going to let your breath slow down. And the slower breath is going to let your heart rate slow down. You're going to just stay in this relaxed position. Let your mind drift away. And release any final tension that you may have. And when you feel you're ready, you'll just start to wake the body back up gently. A little bit of movement through the hands and the feet. Nothing quick. We don't want to jump out of this release. We're going to add the arms and the legs to that movement. Maybe a little bit of movement in the hips and the torso to engage the spine. And then we're going to reach arms over our head. Stretch your arms as far overhead as you can. Stretch your legs down as far as you can in the opposite direction. And then very gently we're going to roll onto our sides. Taking as much time as you need. We're going to keep those arms moving to work ourselves back up to a sitting position. We want to keep those eyes closed, staying in our own space. You've come to a nice comfortable sitting position. From there, we're just going to rub those palms together. We're going to create a bit of friction heat on the hands. We're going to apply that heat to our eyes. Keeping your hands in front of your eyes, you're just going to let the eyelids open slowly, seeing the insides of the palms. And then just lower the hands back down into the lap. And relax. I hope you've had a good practice. Yeah, I will see you again if you're interested. More classes will be coming up online. Keep in contact and see what else we've got happening. Take care. Thank you very much.